Hi everyone, I'm Miguel Rivera, and this is Real Talk with Miguel Rivera. You're listening to Real Talk with Miguel Rivera, a podcast that inspires individuals to connect, build community, and pursue their passion. My name is Miguel Rivera, and I'm an educator, community advocate, and executive director of Dream Big Project. And I'm sitting down with passionate and inspiring individuals to talk about their stories, the lessons they've learned, and how they're making an impact. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Miguel Rivera. I am your host, Miguel Rivera. Today, I have a special guest joining us today. His name is Adrian Diaz. Adrian is currently serving and has been in the Marine Corps for the last 9 years. Adrian is a new father to Kali Rose Diaz and husband to Kristine Diaz. He is also pursuing his aspiration to become a barber and open up a barbershop, which I'm excited to talk about. Adrian, say hello to the millions and billions of listeners who tune in to listen to everybody on this podcast.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I appreciate you being on the podcast. I hear you're a big fan.
I am. I'm loving it. I'm watching every episode. The intro gets me pumped. The little violin.
You like that?
I've been getting hyped every time.
When I discovered that track, it was kind of like one of those moments where you knew you were going to use it for something, right? And right away I was like, this is it. And it actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, I'm ready. Whoever's the next guest, I'm excited.
It gets you pumped?
Yeah, hear the questions, see how, just average individuals, you know what I mean? Just trying to see how their life is going and going from there. So it's pretty cool.
And what do you get out? Are you getting something out of that? There's different stories, different, everything, every episode. What do you get out of that?
Yeah, the last one, Jennifer, heard it on the way here. Mental health.
Nice.
David Mata, he was talking about school, coronavirus.
Right.
Our boy, Vaughn.
Yeah,
Vaughn Dig, talking about stocks and stuff like that. So,
yeah, he's been on that pretty hardcore.
So he's killing it with that, and so on and so forth. The individuals that have been on it's been
right. Everybody,
it's been pretty awesome.
And I think that's really one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast to begin with. I've been wanting to do it for a very long time. Never really kind of did it until recently. But the main reason why I wanted to do the podcast to begin with was to really bring attention and highlight these individual stories, right? For example, yours. We're going to dig deep into that today. We were talking a little bit about that already before started recording, so I'm excited to really expand on that, man.
I'm a little nervous, but I'm also excited.
You're good. No, I think everyone so far, the feedback has been really positive, good, and I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of what you have to say today. So we were talking a little bit about the Marine Corps, right? You've been in there for almost a decade now.
Yeah, coming up September will be 10 years, man.
Wow.
Straight out of high school.
Yeah,
exactly.
You need to record a track called Straight Out of High School, man. I feel like we've been talking about high school a lot on this podcast.
We have.
Right? I think that says a lot about high school, that experience, that transition.
It's the pinnacle point in life for a lot of us.
It is.
It's that stepping, that kind of roadmap, either not really failure to success, but everyone forgets that high school is not the end all be all kind of thing.
Right.
That's where you kind of start and you progress your life.
Exactly. It's nowhere near the end. Like,
not even close.
It's unfortunate because when we're at that level, or even students right now, they're especially during the pandemic, right, with distance learning, and I'm not taking anything away from them because it is difficult, especially during this time, but they feel very stuck, like this is the end, or my life is over, and so forth, which, again, not taken away from anyone, because, those events and high school graduations, all those memories are memories that everyone usually cherishes, but for them, it's a little bit different.
For sure.
And for everyone also at this point in time, like for me, for example, just going to school and graduating in May, virtual graduation.
Crazy.
So it's all over the place right now.
Yeah, it's insane. Just to see the transition, like you said, with high school and even just in life in general.
Right.
The transition we've been in so far. So
yeah. So going back to the reason why I wanted to start this podcast to begin with, just to highlight everyone. I feel like everyone has a story. Everyone does have a story.
For sure.
Everyone goes through shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody has all the answers.
For sure.
And for some reason, people act like they do. And then some people believe people have all the answers, and nobody does.
Exactly.
So
and you're allowing the average Joe,
Right.
The opportunity to put their voice out there. I feel famous right now. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like in a sense, I feel, somebody, these individuals are listening to me and, hearing my story, and it makes
Right.
me feel, a little bit more important. So it's cool that, you've allowed us that opportunity to do that.
Exactly, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate everyone hopping on as a guest and everybody listening. I think, together we can do so much, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so, yeah, again, thank you for hopping on the podcast. Can you talk a little bit about your experience in the Marine Corps within this 10 years?
Yeah, so a long process. So like we said, we started out in high school. Didn't really know what I was going to do in life. I played football. I like to say I was pretty decent. Meeting you for the first time, that was an experience.
That's kind of where we really met.
Exactly. So little does everyone know, the first time I actually met Miguel, we were in the old, you remember that old beat down gym right by the football field?
Oh my God.
So we were there working out. I was a freshman.
At the gym where the dust came up the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Everything was just messed up. I think I was a freshman, and you were a junior or a senior.
I believe I was a junior your freshman year.
I think you broke the record for the squat.
Right.
I think I've seen you 500 pounds.
565.
I was like, this guy is a monster. And I was like, and then somebody's like, oh yeah, he's the quarterback. What?
Yeah.
What?
Those tree trunk leg
I would say
QB,
the
what?
same thing. So, football was my life. Had a cannon, for an
Right.
arm, but...
Out of the double wing, right?
yeah, exactly.
Hey, we turned that whole program around during those 4 years.
Yeah, it's all started. I think it was huge. Obviously, we got the penny era, pretty much is what it was. So,
exactly.
Those individuals I've never played QB in my life either. Kind of going off
Me
on
neither
a tangent.
before high school.
Yeah, going off on a tangent, but the double wing just kind of consisted of it. So they just threw me into the fire against St. Paul, Division I high school. And we won our first game, and I just continued on from there. So,
were you starting from the beginning?
No. Shout out to Donovan Gomes.
Hey.
He was actually a starting QB.
It's your boy Donnie,
Yeah, Donnie, But he actually started the first two games, and then
That's
it wasn't
right.
going.
I remember him playing.
And then they
some QB.
transitioned to me just because my older brother Dominic was the quarterback
Right. He
before.
was. He was the year before, right?
Yep, the year before. 2 years actually.
Yeah.
Because I know you got injured and stuff like that. So
exactly.
he took over his junior year.
Yep.
When you were a senior, and then he took over his senior year, and then that's when I took over my senior year. So.
That's kind of after your year. Wait, you had Penny as on your
running
team.
back. Yeah, he was my running back. Yeah, I had Penny, Billy Moore, and then Andre was my fullback.
Elijah, right? Now
Yeah,
Rashad.
Elijah. The Elijah Penny.
The Elijah Penny. Man, he was a beast.
Yeah, monster, man. The crazy thing, no one knows this, but he didn't start football until he's a freshman in high school. Also, he was my backup fullback.
Oh my goodness.
Tell me about it. I don't know. I'm not trying to lie here, but legit, like he was the backup, Coach Moreno, and then he was also. I was teaching him how to play linebacker.
Right.
It was just insane, like such a big guy.
My senior year, which was your sophomore year.
Yep.
He was on varsity, but not playing.
Yeah, and he played defensive line.
Like
he
what?
was a D end, and then all of a sudden they just passed him the rock and
then they
on
were
the way
like,
he goes.
Why didn't we give him the ball sooner?
I know. Tell me about it. So, but yeah, it was insane. Like no one knows that. He didn't start football until his freshman year, and then
That is interesting.
Oh man, just
that says
got
a lot
big.
too, though, just about
the type of individual he is.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome. I feel a little famous there too, so just to know him. But yeah, so started out with football, thought I was gonna be big, and realized I'm only 5'7", 5'8". I'm a Hispanic. Not a lot of individuals make it like that. Didn't really get any recognition because it's we're running the double wing.
Exactly, out of Norwalk.
Yeah, exactly. Norwalk, small
not
town.
much talent, right?
Exactly, and everyone came just to see Penny. That was the
Miguel
biggest
Rivera,
thing. Yeah, Miguel Rivera. But yeah, most of the time they all just came to see Penny. Everyone's kind of like the limelight. Not really the limelight. And,
they really brought the recruits.
Exactly.
EJ and Rashad. And then after that, it was just like
that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, it was the end of it. And then I realized real fast I was like I really don't have anything going for myself. So. Military is not even a background in my family, and
oh really?
Yeah,
okay.
No, not at all. I'm like the second individual to join the military in my family.
Dom went first.
I joined the military, so that I joined the military. It's called the Delayed Entry Program. Mm-hmm. So I joined that first, and then I got Dominic interested. Kind of made him join from there. So yeah, funny story with that. I got called by the Navy. And when they called me, they're like, hey, you want to come in? We want to ask you some questions. Want to see what you got going on for your life and yourself and stuff like that. And, went in for an interview to talk to the Navy, actually. And then they weren't there. So I was sitting down on their sofa. And all of a sudden, the Marine Corps recruiter comes walking by and is like, hey, what's up, man? I was like, what's going on?
Oh,
yeah, I know. Tell me, but I came in for the swoop.
He did sneak up on you.
So he came in and said, hey, what are you doing? I'm just here. Navy called me, just wanted to sit down and talk. You're just interested in the military? I was like, yeah. He's like, you want to come talk to me? Walked in his office and,
and so
we talked all night. We talked about what, I'll get more into it later, these benefit tags. And we talked about those things, what I wanted to be. I chose pride of belonging.
Pride of belonging?
Yeah, pride of belonging, travel and adventure, and then financial advancement, security, and benefits. There are little cards and stuff like that.
Now, were those occupations, or what was that exactly?
Yeah, so the way it is, as a recruiter, these are things to kind of start a conversation. There's like 11 benefit tags, and you choose those. You put them in order from your most important to your least important, and it kind of gets the recruiter to see how you are as an individual and kind of tie those into the Marine Corps and how it's going to benefit you. So pride of belonging. Football, being part of something bigger than myself. That's what I wanted. And I wasn't going to get that after football was over. So he kind of tied that how I'm going to get that in the Marine Corps. Travel and adventure, kind of lived in California my whole life, never really went anywhere. And I just wanted to go see the world. And he tied that in.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I hear a lot about, just the travel with
for sure. Trying to just go out to the world, experience different things.
Yeah.
And then financial security, advancements, and benefits. So that was kind of one of the bigger ones because growing up, I just had my mom, 3 boys. So my older brother, myself, and my little brother until we were about 6 or 7 years old. And then I consider my dad, but my stepdad came into the picture. Shout out to Vincent Ledesma. Love you, Pops. He came into the picture and, kind of was that role model for us. And, we weren't really high middle class. We're kind of lower middle class kind of thing. And I wanted to always, have money, always didn't want to look at my bank account constantly.
Right,
kind of
didn't want to worry about any finances.
See how my parents struggled and stuff like that. And that was like the biggest stepping stone. And, he told me I can get all that. And right then and there, I decided, this is what I want to do right then and there. So I called my mom. You met my mom before.
Was this after high school already?
No, this was during high school.
This was during high school.
October. Literally like...
Actually, you have to be 18 to join, or how does that work?
Yeah, so you could be 17 years old to join, to enlist into the military. Okay. So I think I joined in it was like towards the end of the football season. So it was like November, December timeframe. And 17 years old. So that's when I had to bring my mom in. So
you called her, or she came to the office?
No, yeah, I called her. So I hit her up. Hey, Mom, can you come to the office? She was where? I was like, hey, just come here. She comes to the office. Didn't want to tell her where.
She has no idea.
No idea at all. So she comes in and already she's pissed. She's mad. She's like, nope.
Oh, shit.
Nope. Let's go. Get up. Get out. I was like, Mom, come on. Let this guy talk to you. Let him hear him out, and just let's hear it. So he hit the whole spiel. And I'm sitting there I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. So she starts crying,
Dang.
And right then and there, I was like, hey, Mom, either you sign those papers now or I'm going to do it when I turn 18 kind of thing. Oh, shit. Yeah, I was like, give her that ultimatum, you know what I'm saying? So, she cried her little heart out. And, because, Hispanic.
And she's crying because she's thinking.
Yeah, Hispanics, you're not supposed to leave home. You kind of just stay home. You make the money. You just help out your family from there. So my brother being the older one, staying home, and then myself, you seen me, 17 years old, saying I want to leave. First thing I want to go is get out of here. She kind of took that to heart a little bit. But I told her, hey, I just want to do something for myself.
Right.
I want to be someone, and so I feel like this individual, this recruiter, is allowing me the opportunity to do that.
Right.
And this is what I want to do. So, yeah, I gave her that ultimatum, and she signed.
She signed on the spot right there?
Yeah, she signed, man. And then the next day, I went to MEPS, the Military Enlistment Processing Station, and then I enlisted, raised my right hand, and I was enlisted into the Marine Corps.
Wow, at 17?
17 years old, man.
So then you're not shipped out to boot camp until after
the summertime,
high school.
Correct. So in the summertime. So waited, just make sure I didn't get in trouble. Waited until the summertime, and then we had a little fun before I left. Went to EDC. Shout out to Vaughn, Lewis, Martin, Johnny. Yeah, so we all went to EDC for my last going away kind of thing, and went to EDC, and then as soon as I came back, boom, I was technically supposed to go in August, but then I had gauges on my ears and stuff like that. I had to get them closed. Okay. And then they called me September 10th and saying, my recruiter was like, hey, you want to go to boot camp? And it was like 3, 4 in the morning. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Woke up my mom, I was like, hey, Mom, I'm leaving. She's like, where? I was like, I'm going to boot camp. And she's like, no, you're not. I was like, Mom, I'm leaving. Cried a little bit. I didn't say bye to anybody else.
This was on the spot?
Yeah. So they call you and
don't you usually have a date like in advance?
Usually you do, but I was kind of on the standstill because I didn't make my first date. So I was kind of on call pretty much. And I woke up my mom, said I'm going, got whatever I needed, literally put shirts, pants, shoes on. Got my ID, $20, and that's pretty much my social.
No way.
And gave her a kiss goodbye. Said I'll be back in 3 months, and that was it.
Yeah.
Then went to San Diego, MCRD San Diego, and that's where I attended boot camp.
How long is boot camp?
So boot camp is 13 weeks.
13 weeks?
Yeah, 13 weeks, so 3 months. Yeah, it's long.
Thought it was shorter than that.
No. So every branch is different. Marine Corps is obviously the hardest.
Right.
No shot to all the other branches at all. Maybe a little bit of shot, but yeah. So it is the hardest, it's toughest, and it's the longest by double. I think the closest one to us is maybe the Army or the Navy. I think they're 8 to 9 weeks for their boot camp. So yeah, we're at 13 weeks, and yeah.
Dude, what was that like? I feel like, just to add to it real quick, in high school I thought about the military.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone does.
Everybody does,
exactly.
Right? It's like you don't really, you're like, oh, that's an option. What would that be like? For me, I thought about it some more. Then finally came down to the decision. It's not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, it's
and
not
that's
happen.
the crazy thing. Kind of go back. I had everyone telling me not to do it. You know what I mean? It's like primetime Afghan, going to Afghanistan and stuff like that. Yeah. So the biggest one I still remember is like Lewis. Good old Lulu. Sweet Lou, right?
Sweet Lou, shout out to Sweet Lou.
He always told me like, hey man, don't do it. You're gonna not kind of.
Lou is the scariest of all of them.
Yeah, he's kind of
first of all. So he's like, hey, don't do it.
Oh, but for sure he was always.
But he's also very logical, reasonable.
Oh, for sure. And he's always kind of, not saying like don't do it. He's just saying like, hey, you can do so much for yourself.
Exactly.
More than that. And it was kind of like everyone thought of going into the military, you're gonna die. You know what I mean? That was the biggest thing. So
the worst case scenario.
Yeah, exactly. So, but his name always like kind of peeks out to me the most when it comes to that decision. And I always stuck with it no matter how many people told me not to.
Yeah.
Until the day I went to boot camp, it's like everyone told me, hey, you can switch. You could do something else. You know what I mean?
Like switch, what do you mean?
Do something else in my life. Like get out of the military and then go somewhere else.
Don't you have a contract though?
Yeah, so
like, cause can you switch? Like, can you just bounce?
Yeah, you can get out.
Okay,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can get out. So when you enlist, I didn't know this at the time until I became a recruiter, 6 years later. We'll kind of go into that. But yeah, when you sign that contract, you're technically not obligated until you go to boot camp. Once you get on that bus or once you step onto MCRD San Diego, you can step out at any time, no matter what. That contract is not signed, still delivered.
Damn.
Yeah, so until you step there on those yellow footprints is what we call it, then yeah, that's the point of no return.
And then that's when you can't.
Exactly, that's when you can't. So,
got it.
But yeah, all throughout high school, I could have got out of it, could have never showed up. Nothing's going to happen to me. You know, they try to scare you kind of thing, but they can't do anything.
And so they're trying to scare you. They want you. They're trying to recruit. I feel like recruits are just on it when it comes to recruiting. What do recruits get out of? I mean, I'm sure they cash in on recruitment. Like as far
recruiters?
As recruiters.
Yeah, so everyone kind of gets this bad persona about recruiters. And that's how I'm here to debunk that, because I was a recruiter before, right before I came here, where I'm stationed at now in Camp Pendleton. But as recruiters, you don't make money. Every person that you enlist into the military, there's no commission or anything like that. It's a different kind of retail.
That's right. You were talking about how you. Okay,
it's insane. Go ahead. So it's kind of rough, man. It's like the only thing you get is a high five, a pat in the back, and go find somebody else.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's that's why I was saying before when we were talking about it a little bit. Is recruiting is difficult. Probably one of the most difficult things I've done in the Marine Corps so far.
Is it because of just how active you are in every little thing, as communication and everything that's involved, or what makes it just not the main thing that you want to do?
Yeah, so obviously we go through boot camp, blah blah blah. You kind of go through this, and what I talked about before is that once you get this job, this military occupational specialty, the Marine Corps gives you, or you choose, you kind of master that as you go through the ranks in the Marine Corps, and you kind of master that job, that MOS. And when you feel like you finally mastered it 3, 4, 5 years in, the Marine Corps then transfers you over into this job, this secondary job. So a special duty assignment. So it's either recruiter, a drill instructor, or embassy duty.
And you don't get to pick?
In a sense, you kind of do. Okay. So you put a package in, and depending on how good you are, or tattoos, or how you are as an individual, kind of puts you in those 3 blocks.
Oh, so they do look at all of that.
Yeah, exactly. So they want the best of the best out there. Right. So for recruiters, they want you're the small representation of the Marine Corps in that city, state.
That's a great,
exactly. So they want the best of the best, and they want you to look appearance-wise. They want you to look good because now you're representing that establishment.
Makes sense.
Yeah, or that business. You know what I mean? So, I unfortunately got voluntold to be a recruiter.
And where were you recruiting at?
Like, I went to Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's why you were in Wisconsin.
Yes, exactly. So
I thought you were there because you were finally reunited with the Green Bay Packers.
No, not at all. I'm not a Packer fan at all, by the way. I'm a diehard Raider fan.
Oh, my God.
So for Fernando,
here we go.
I'm a diehard Raider fan.
Here we go.
But I'm not a belligerent Raider fan.
I had a supposedly diehard Raider fan on.
Oh.
His name by Bear. That guy is a joke, let me tell you.
What a character. Speaking on that, we're kind of going on tangents here, but La Familia, I'll give a shout out to those guys.
Shout out to the La Familia group chat.
Sure. I was actually, I don't know if you know this, I was the last one to join that group.
Really?
Yeah.
Why were you the last one, bro?
So I think it was, the start of it was obviously, it's right now, there's a bunch of us. So we got with Miguel, June, who's what we call him. We got Fernando, Fern. We got Manuel, which we call Pollo. You know what I mean?
Or then we got a.k.a. Papash.
Papi Chulo. And then we got Angel, which is Roach. And then we have Ivan, which is Vaughn. And then
Dig.
Lewis, Sweet Lou. And then obviously the man himself, the ESPN guru.
Who, Bear?
Yeah.
Supposedly Bear.
Yeah, he thinks he knows everything.
He thinks he knows everything.
Yeah,
Barely
and then myself.
Recently won a fantasy. Out of 20 years, he finally
won one, right? So it's all of us, and I actually got added by Fern. Was hanging around with everyone coming here. You know, after, we obviously knew each other in high school and stuff like that, but didn't know about this group. And then all of a sudden, I get this text from a group, and Fernando finally added me to it, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" You know,
and
what I
then
mean?
from that point, you just started winning in life.
And then I just started. He's like, "Welcome to La Familia," and I was like, "What the heck is this?" And little do we know, it's a little group chat that we do, kind of talk shit to each other, talk about life.
That's where we level up.
That's where we level up. Exactly. So I think I'm at the top of the totem pole now. I think I made it to the top.
Man, but I think too, just to add to that, in the La Familia in general, a great group of diverse friends.
For sure.
Everybody specializes in different areas and has insight in different areas and experience, right? You in the military, Ivan just with stocks and Verizon growing there.
Yep.
You know, and everyone else in specializing in their own way. I think that's
all different places.
Exactly. That's another great point. All in different areas. So that's awesome, right?
Yeah,
surrounding yourself with those types of people.
Exactly. And positive. We're all positive. We do talk a lot of smack, but it's in a positive nature. Right. No matter what, we're always there. We're always kind of rooting for each other.
Exactly. And I think that's just the competitiveness.
Exactly. We're all alpha males.
Right.
Alpha
exactly.
Males,
And I like that. I think that's really, I think everyone should have a social group in that that replicates La Familia in some way.
And for that long too.
That's
high
true.
School, all high school. We're all different ages. You know, obviously you and Fern and Anthony being Bear being the oldest, and then we got Roach, kind of by himself. And
then, just chilling there.
And then me, Pollo, Lewis, and Vaughn, all in that age gap. But Vaughn, I think Vaughn's the baby, right?
I think so.
I think he's the youngest one.
It's not Lou,
no, Lou is like a year older than me.
Yeah, that's Vaughn.
Yeah, I think it's Vaughn.
Vaughn's the baby.
Yeah, but I think
like
I'm
the
month
oldest
or two.
and Vaughn's the youngest.
Yeah. So,
damn.
But
yeah, no, shout out to them for sure.
For sure. But and then obviously Wisconsin. So lived out there, and then just recruited and stuff like that.
And then so, what was your boot camp like? 13 weeks.
So boot camp is probably
like,
just
first of all, when I think of boot camp, I'm scared out of my damn mind.
Oh, I didn't know what I was getting into.
I played football all my life.
Yeah.
But, at the boot camp, I'm thinking like, okay, 13 weeks. 7 days a week, waking up 5 a.m. for what? And
exactly.
And nonstop, just working out, getting yelled at. Like, am I accurate?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's I always say boot camp is 90% mental, 10% physical. And I went in there not knowing anything about the military. I didn't even know what the Marine Corps was. That's the crazy part. So
So going in, they don't even talk to you about a little bit about that at all.
They did, but I didn't care.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
like, hey,
it's
I'm joining
like
the military. Just send me. You know what I mean?
Right,
Kind of thing.
right.
So when I got there and all these guys are just yelling kind of in my face, kind of getting spit all over me and stuff like that, I was like, what the heck did I get myself into? And yeah, it was just a mental shock.
Right off the bus?
Oh, right off the bat, man. As soon as you get off the bus, you're getting yelled and screamed at.
Damn.
Yeah, constantly. And it's nonstop. And it's just, as soon as you get in there, you step on these yellow footprints, and then they read you like this kind of like, these like guidelines of what like laws and things that you shouldn't do, fines, things like that. So and once you do that, boom, you go into this area with all these red blocks and stuff like that, and you empty out all your pockets, and then they take stuff away from you. So all you have on you is your ID, your social, $20. And that's about it. You don't even bring your phone with you.
Really?
Yeah, you don't bring anything. That's it. That's all you have. You're literally yourself and just essential items that you need in your pockets. And this
is boot camp.
It's boot camp.
And that's it.
Yeah, and then you go get a haircut. They bald you. Then you get a bunch of military issued items. And then once that's done, you're kind of in an assembly line for about an hour or two. And little did I know is they're kind of mentally preparing you. So you're actually up for 36 straight hours. Without even knowing, yeah.
Really?
Yes, I didn't know
Without
this.
even knowing?
Yeah, because you're so mentally, so on the bus right there, you start in the morning, like 04 in the morning.
Right.
And you take a bus down, and then you, once you get there, it's already nighttime. So then by the time you finally realize to go to sleep, it's daytime, and then you're going to sleep the next night. So then, because all these people are coming from different states, they're trying to get everybody on the same time zone. But you don't know that as a recruit.
Right.
Exactly. So
you're going in there just thinking like, I'm going to boot camp.
Exactly. So yeah, all that stuff, you're doing all these things, you're going to medical, you're getting like 1 million shots.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, you're going in there getting shots. It's kind of like an assembly line. You pick up both your arms and your shirts, you pull your pants down, halfway down.
Ass naked?
No, not. You're just kind of leave your butt cheek open, because then you get what's called a peanut butter shot.
Oh, God.
So then it's penicillin. So then you get a bunch of shots, and literally you got like 3 nurses on each side, and then one on the wall.
Damn.
So then bang, 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 they're shooting you, and then the last one you put your hands on this wall with little handprints, and then they shoot you in the ass.
With handprints on the wall.
You're like, oh my God, what's going on here?
You're like, what's about to happen here?
Oh my God, please save me. But so once you do that, then you're out of there, and then you go do dental. They check your teeth, they do cleanings and stuff like that, and then they check if your eyesight is good. And then once all that's done, then you got that's like a week process almost.
Okay.
And then
I'm thinking this is all that night.
It's all kind of, a lot of stuff does happen the first night, but a lot of it's kind of throughout the week. And then they call it Black Friday. It's not a shopping spree, ladies and gentlemen. I promise. It's like the worst experience.
Black Friday.
What? But they call it Black Friday because that's when you meet your drill instructors.
Okay.
And that's like probably the most intense moment, because you're sitting there kind of just relaxed a little bit, and like the first thing they say is, "Sit up straight, eyeballs on me," and you're like, "Oh."
You're like, "Oh shit."
Okay, let me sit up real quick. Okay, it's about to get serious. You know what I mean? So, they just they introduce you to the individuals that are gonna make you into Marines. And these guys are like robots, man. You never see these guys eat. You never see them drink water.
Damn,
you don't see them.
For real?
Yeah, it's like when I going through it, I was like, these guys are they're animals. Like they're not supposed to show any sign of weakness whatsoever.
Damn.
And that's why I said it's kind of like a. Can I cuss on this?
Yeah,
it's kind of like a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck almost. And it's just one of those things that you just see these individuals as like prodigies, and like they're so good, and you're like, you feel so defeated because you're constantly working out every day. You feel beat up, and these guys are just 24/7, just nonstop. And you're like, how is this possible?
And that's what they're getting you towards.
Exactly, and that's what they want you to. But it's also just to mess with you, because off to the side, when you don't see them, they're sleeping, they're eating. Yeah, they're kind of doing their own thing. But
they're human.
They don't see that, and that's the mental mindset that you kind of get.
Damn.
So yeah,
are these? So who are these individuals that are drilling you like this?
The drill instructors. So like I said, remember the special duty assignments? You're a recruiter, a drill instructor. That's one of the ones that you can be.
Is that what you wanted to do or no?
I wanted to be a drill instructor.
That would have been cool.
So, God, I was so in love with it. They get like the Smokey Bear cover.
Oh.
They just look like bad. They look bad.
How long? Okay, so everybody gets that option for those secondary positions at the same point in time in their career in the military?
Yeah, it's usually between when you re-enlisted, so when you're done a second term. So it's either from that all the way to when you retire most of the time.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, they can get you at any moment.
And then you also commit to a certain amount of time for that?
3 years, no matter what.
Oh, it's
3
always
years.
3
Yeah,
years.
always
Okay.
3 years. 3 years, no matter what.
So right now you're currently a recruiter.
No, I'm done
Oh,
being a
you're
recruiter.
done recruiting right now.
Correct. I'm done being a recruiter. I'm now
you're
back to my original job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you were explaining everything that you have to go through for boot camp during this time, because you said it was like a week that was covered in.
Yep.
Are you also already kind of stationed, or at least have a dorm with others,
Yeah, so they
and
call
you're
them
already
squad
going through
bays.
the whole routine of boot camp?
Exactly.
That's already happening,
Yeah,
right?
yep. So yeah, once you get past that week, then it's kind of you're with the guys that you're gonna become Marines with.
Got it.
So you live in this squad bay, and there's like 100 racks. So they're bunk beds, and there's like 50 on each side, and that's exactly where you're gonna live. There's no doors. The only doorway is like the bathroom, and it's all open.
Damn.
Yeah. There's no doors in the bathrooms. Like you're not
It's
allowed.
like that scene in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, exactly like that. If you've seen Full Metal Jacket, if you haven't, get on it. Probably one
Yeah,
of
if
the.
you haven't,
That's
you
exactly
need to
what the
watch
Marine
it.
Corps representation was back then. It's
Back
kind
then.
of slimmed down a little bit because
Yeah.
it beat them up a little bit back then. But
Right.
yeah, it's pretty much like what it is. And squad bays, and you wake up, you see everything and anything. You shower with everybody, you brush your teeth, you shave all together. Everything is like by the numbers. So it's
Wow.
insane. Yeah, though when you learn how to shave, even if you don't have facial hair. They literally say, shaving cream on your hand right now, ready, move. And you'll put it on your hands, and then, all right, shaving cream on your face right now, ready, move. And then you'll put it on your face. And like, all right, grab razor on your right hand, ready, move.
Oh, shit.
Razor to your face, ready, move. All right, you're going to slide down and go down to the bottom, ready, move. All right, you're going to do that 3 more times. So you'll
Wow.
everything is by the numbers, and nothing is on
That's
your own.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you don't even use your name anymore. You're a recruit now. So
Really?
everything is third person. So you talk this recruit, this recruit, that. Your name is completely gone.
Really?
Yeah, so even asking to use the restroom is like you have to ask. So the way it is this recruit requests permission to make a head call. So it's literally how you ask to go to the bathroom.
What?
Yeah, it's insane,
So what's
man.
the reason behind that?
To lose your whole identity as an individual, because everyone
what it sounds like.
Yeah, everyone comes into this area from different walks of life, different walks of the world, and then they've created this, whether 18, 28, however old you are, and you come into boot camp, and they want you to forget that completely, and they want you to be literally nothing. And that's why I said it's a mental mind fuck, because you're back to bottom of the zero, where you thought you were this prodigy kid, football player, football star, or just an average Joe individual.
Right.
And now you're the same as every other person.
Exactly.
You have 2 hands, 2 feet, and a head, and that's it. And and that's why I said it's kind of mind-boggling. Everything's
And that's kind of how it is throughout boot camp.
Yes, throughout the whole time. And then the cool thing is like there's progression. So like in the
I was
beginning,
just gonna ask about what is it like throughout the entire time?
yeah, so they have 4 phases. So the first phase is just kind of just tearing you down and just beating you up.
Damn.
You wake up, you what we say shower shave kind of thing, and then you go to chow, you work out, eat, go to sleep. That's
What time
day.
you wake up? What time do you
Around
go to sleep?
5:30, 06, I think, every day. I might be skewing that a little bit, maybe like 06, 07.
Has that ever changed? Like, does that
No,
change?
the time schedule is always the same. The crazy thing is you don't realize is you always get 8 hours of sleep. It might not feel like it, but you actually do.
Really?
Yeah, I
So
never
they
knew
also
it.
understand that you need that sleep
Exactly. So, but you don't realize it. But yeah, you get 8 hours of sleep. So you'll wake up around 5, 6 in the morning, and then you'll just wake up. As soon as you wake up, they scream lights, and
Oh shit!
a recruit will flash the lights on, and then you have to get up, stand in formation at attention, and then they just make sure everyone's awake. There's a drill instructor that runs down and counts everybody, make sure that they're there, and then he'll roger up saying we're good, and then we'll wake up, we'll start making our beds, and we do it by the numbers and all that stuff. Yeah.
When you say by the numbers, what do you mean by that?
So like by the numbers is like 2 sheets and a blanket online, ready, move. So you'll grab your 2 sheets, you'll grab a blanket, you'll get to the front, you'll stand there. All right, with you and your partner, you're going to grab that 1 sheet, you're going to put it in your bed, ready, move. And then boom, you'll put it on your bed, you'll tie it down, and then you're literally, and they're counting you off. They're like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you will be. And then, then you have to stand in front. If you're not standing in front, we start all over.
That means you're late. Like you.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, so they're teaching like
So you
discipline.
start all over? Do you get chewed out?
Oh yeah, they'll take off. They'll make your bed. They'll kind of mess with you. You'll make your beds completely, and they'll say somebody messed up, and you'll have to restart and make your bed all over again.
Oh damn.
Yeah, little things like that. So it's just so kind of teamwork, team building, discipline.
We're all in this together.
Exactly. So
What's the workout? Or no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's the workouts like?
So
those must be intense.
Yeah, so they're called ITs, intensive intensive trainings.
Okay.
So you kind of get IT'd every day constantly, and it's no more than 15 minutes, I think. So you're doing push-ups, you're doing burpees, you're doing jump squats, you're doing crunches, and you're just constantly moving from one spot to the next. You're like, all right, squats, ready to move. Boom, you start squatting. Push-ups, get down. Boom, you start pushing. Then you'll start, doing, we call them side shoulder hops or jumping jacks and stuff like that. So you're just doing it constantly throughout the day. And then
so there's also like a schedule for those too, right?
Yeah, there is. So there's always stuff like that. They always kind of have like white space. So they usually throw those kind of workouts into white space or little stuff like that. So yeah, the first phase is literally all that, just kind of beating you up. And then you jump into second phase is where you go up north to Camp Pendleton. And that's when you learn kind of like Marine Corps marksmanship, going to the field, learning combat situations and stuff like that. So on and so forth. And that's when like you kind of learn like things away from discipline and stuff like that. And you're learning more like how to be
more like skillful stuff.
Training
Got
kind
it.
of stuff. So
is that also, that's also within boot camp too?
Yep, that's all in boot camp. So that's the second phase.
How big? Okay, so how many phases are 3?
4.
4. So that's the first phase, second phase. What's the third and the fourth like?
So third phase is when you're gonna kind of put everything to the test. So everything that you've learned is when you're now put it into fruition at that point. So you're testing out for your rifle. You do what's called the crucible. That's like the pinnacle point of Marine Corps boot camp. That's when you finally earn the title of Marine. And then you're doing like prac tests. So there's like tests that you have to take that you have to learn. So like history, all these things people don't even know about, You're doing all these tests, and then you're doing like final drill, learning how to drill movements, stuff like that. And you're kind of putting that all to the test in third phase. And then fourth phase is when it's called Marine Week. And that's when you're actually a Marine, and then you get your name back. So now you're Private Diaz or Private Rivera kind of thing.
Right. So, and the private is the first level of ranking, the very basic, the beginning.
Correct.
Are there different levels of being a private? Like, are there different rankings?
No. So the rank structure, the way it works, it goes E1, which is private. Then you got E2, private first class. E3, Lance Corporal. And that's kind of like the most you can get in boot camp, which is E3, Lance Corporal. How do you
become E3 in boot camp?
So before you go to boot camp, you could be a PFC, a private first class, which is an E2. So you either have 15 college credits before you enlist, or you have 2 people join. You get 2 people to join with you. Then you can get a PFC.
Like you recruit yourself.
Exactly. So you're recruiting yourself. Exactly. So I got one, which was my brother Dominic. And then I was trying to get somebody else, but I couldn't find anybody else. So.
And you said credits? 15 credits or?
15 college credits.
College credits.
Yeah, so if you got like 21, 23, 28 years old, they go to college, and then they have like this epiphany, this kind of, they want to just do something else.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, they can go and then they get paid more. So then to get Lance Corporal, you'll be a PFC, and then you have to be literally the number 1 recruit out of all like 500-600. So you're like the best Marine out of that whole a whole company.
And only one person can get that?
One person gets that, yeah. Dang. So it's a pretty prestigious. They get like this, they get recognized. Their recruiter gets flown in, and their family gets to see all that stuff.
Wouldn't it be for some people a little bit easier to get those 2 recruits and the college credits? Like, can't you kind of already have that? In a sense?
Yes, you can.
So then wouldn't that lead to more than one?
No, so you can't go higher than that. Yeah, so if you have 15 college credits and you recruit 2 people, then you're still just going to be a E2 no matter what.
But what if there's like 5 people who did that and are going to the same boot camp?
Then they all get it.
Each of them? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they all get it. They all get it.
Dang.
Yeah. So then fourth phase is when you become a Marine, and that's when you go through graduation. Your family gets to come out there and see you and stuff.
And there's no more like you're done with boot camp after that.
Yeah, that's it. After that, boot camp's over. And then you get...
Is that fourth phase like one day? Like the last...
It's a week.
Oh, it's a week.
It's a week. It's called Marine Week is what we call it.
And during that entire week, are you still being yelled at, woken
up
early?
So everything's toned down. Now your drill instructors are humans. That's why there's different phases. Exactly. So you're kind of seeing that progression. Got it. And then that's when your drill instructors now teach you life after boot camp. They don't want you to be this robot where you sit 45-degree angle, left hand, right hand on the knee, and you're kind of sitting up straight kind of thing. They wanted you just not relax in a sense, but kind of be more of a... Not a robot, kind of be more human again. You know what I mean?
Be more of a human.
Yeah, so, yeah, exactly. So,
damn, that's cool, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's 13 weeks.
Yeah, it's boot camp in a nutshell right there.
Dang. Now, what about like, every time I drive or I go to San Diego, I see Camp Pendleton.
Yep.
I see the new hospital on the left. And then you drive a little bit more, I feel like there's like training areas where they have like little dorm-looking buildings. It looks like a training ground. It looks like training ground, literally like dirt with little
it's exactly
little
what it
bungalows.
Is. Yeah, well, obstacle courses and stuff like that.
So what is that? What's going on there?
So that's where you're learning kind of the second phase, the training and stuff like that. So they have a thing called Stairway to Heaven. It's just to kind of build more confidence in yourself. So a lot of people are scared of heights. Right. So in boot camp, you better put up or shut up kind of thing. So you're going to go to the top of this obstacle, and then you're going to have to go over it and then come down.
Everybody does that?
Yep. And then you're going to have to do a rappel tower. You do other various obstacle courses that are in there. Just confident builders. It's pretty much what it is. It's just, like I said, just slowly progressing you through boot camp and just making you into a better individual and a better person. You don't know that at the time. Right. But, that's one thing that
really
you slowly
looking back.
Exactly.
You start to realize why you went through all these
you're like, oh my
things.
God, this is crazy. And then seeing it from a recruiter standpoint, when I became a recruiter, it's just like, it's mind-boggling. You're like, oh my God, like they were really mentally like mind fucking you.
Right.
It's insane how good they are.
Do you ever think about like, damn, that's fucked up? Like
it's so. I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I put myself through that? That's what I don't do it anymore. I remember my first enlistment, I used to do it constantly. Like, why did I put myself through that pain? Like, and I was kind of proud of myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you know, but like 2% of the world joins the military. Less than 0.01 becomes a Marine.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. So those numbers are tiny. And at any
what's the reason why? Just because
of how mentally tough it is. Yeah.
Okay.
How mentally tough it is, and it's not. They're trying to find the best of the best. When you think of the Army, you think of like this is like my recruiter spiel. And what do you think? What do you think about when you think of the Army? What do you think about
the Army? I think of Army movies.
Like movies, like kind of like just ground, going inside into fight
in the jungle.
Exactly. What about the Navy?
Jumping out of plane.
What about the Navy?
The Navy, I think of the water.
You think about the ocean, boats and stuff like that. All right, what about the Air Force?
I think you're in the air, like jumping
airplanes,
out of planes and blowing people up.
Exactly. And then what about the Marines?
And I also think Air Force I associate with intelligence.
Well, I think a lot of people do.
Okay.
I think a lot of people do.
And then what was the next one?
And then the Marine Corps. What do you think about the Marine Corps?
I think of just kind of badass people.
Exactly.
Who don't care about necessarily intelligence, but have every other.
Hey, he just called me dumb, guys.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said don't necessarily care about being the most intelligent.
No, I'm kidding. But for sure. But that's exactly my recruiting strategy. When I tell people like, do you want to just be the average Joe? Right. Or do you want to be this badass individual?
I would be like, no, I want to fly a damn plane.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing, man. I should have went Air Force. They have the life good, man. I was like, I'm an idiot. My recruiter got me.
He didn't let me think too much.
Exactly. But that's like kind of my recruiting strategy and stuff
sense,
like that.
though. So,
and that's like the whole concept.
And is that accurate? Do you feel like just
for sure. Yeah. Seeing it from this point of view and stuff like that. The Marine Corps kind of makes I'm not gonna say they're the best, the baddest and the best. There's obviously onesies and twosies and stuff like that. There'll always be. But yeah, I think the Marine Corps does do a great job of finding the best individuals and making them, if they're not already, being the best version of themselves.
Do you get a lot of people who, or is it possible? I'm sure it is, but are there people who quit mid boot camp? Like, is that possible?
Yeah, for sure. There's suicidal ideations.
Oh.
Yeah, people just, can't take it. Like I said, mental.
Right.
The mental state. Being away from home, that's difficult for a lot of individuals. They want to just go back home. They're just so used to being with mommy and daddy. And, it's the first time they can't handle it. So, yeah, they get out of there.
Damn.
Injuries. A lot of people get injured and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's always little things.
The most common reason why.
So most of the time when those things happen, they kind of put you through a grace period to see if they can help you. If they can help you, they give you the option to get out.
What is that, like a couple of days or something?
A couple weeks, months. Sometimes I've seen a guy there for a year.
Damn,
he legit wanted to be a Marine, broke his femur and had to recover, wanted to stay there and recover at boot camp, and then got to come back in. Begin his training, and then he's a Marine now. I think he's out now, but he was able to become a Marine after the fact.
And he was able to stay?
So you can stay there. They give you the option. So you either take surgery or you just decide to get out. And if you want to take surgery and recover and go to therapy and stuff like that, they provide you with that. So they don't get rid of you until they feel like they fixed you.
Right.
So until they fix you or get you back to hopefully 100%, they'll either give you that option to stay in or get out.
Got it.
So yeah.
Dang, that's interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know those things. You know what I mean? That's different. It's crazy.
That's why I really wanted to dig into that.
For sure.
Like I mentioned this earlier, I'm always like amazed by everything about the military and want to learn more about it. And at the same time, I learn a lot about the military, but not about the military from the military. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. I understand.
So I want to hear both sides. I want to know more. Yeah. I'm just that type of person who wants to see and know every.
Hey, more knowledge is more power.
Exactly.
More knowledge is more power, and people forget that.
So I appreciate you just kind of highlighting all those things. For sure. So after boot camp, not to stick to this for too long, but
yeah, we're on it. What, 30 minutes now?
Yeah, we're coming up on.
I can go
45.
forever. I can go forever.
So what is it like after boot camp? You go home for a little while, then you get stationed somewhere, and how, do you decide where you want to go? What's that like?
Yeah, so you go to your job school. We'll kind of make it short and sweet. So you go to your job school wherever that's located within the states, the United States. For myself, it was Fort Leonard, Missouri, and then went there for school. Mine was about 3 months. And then once that happens, usually the top 3 individuals of your class, so you kind of get graded, and the top 3 get to pick what they choose, like to the T. And then everyone else kind of gets like a generalized, so either East Coast, West Coast, overseas. And then, yeah, that's where they go. So for me, I chose West Coast, overseas, East Coast. And I got Yuma.
Yuma?
Have you ever heard of Yuma?
Yuma, Arizona?
Boom. So when I heard it, they were like, Diaz, Yuma, and I was like, oh damn, I'm going to Japan. And they're like, I've never heard Yuma in my life, bro. And they were like, no, you idiot. Shit, you're going to Arizona, you genius. And I was like, oh, all right, well, tight. You know what I mean?
You're like, fuck, Arizona? Fucking
jackass.
So to Japan? All right.
Yeah, I was like, tight, here we go. But I'm going to call my mom. Here we go.
State in the world. No,
here goes the conversation. But yeah, and then I got stationed in Yuma, Arizona, Marine Wing Support Squadron 371. And then, I was stationed there doing my job. And then while I was there, I was able to deploy to Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait.
Damn.
Yeah, so that was a good time. We were there during a kind of a hostile time, but I didn't really see anything, no combat or anything like that. So it's kind of like just a deployment, see what's going on out there. And then I was get ready. We were supposed to everyone was talking about going to Afghanistan, but it never happened. And then once that finished, came back after 9 months, and then got to be stationed in beautiful Hawaii. Yeah, that was a good time.
Did you meet Ed Snowden?
What was that?
Edward Snowden?
Oh, I would love to. I love that movie. That's a great movie, man.
Oh, man.
I wasn't able to see him.
Huh?
Yeah. But actually, I might have been out there during that time.
I was thinking like around that time.
I wasn't. I think it was like 2010 or 2011 or something like that. So
man, that's wild. Have you seen his documentary or looked into that?
It's insane, man.
That is insane.
Great.
I admire the guy,
though.
Oh,
power to him.
Okay.
What an awesome individual. Like to put out that, like to have the balls to put all that information out there.
Right.
And that's the part that's insane.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
What a power move is what I say. What a power move.
And so I don't think he has yet to come back to the U.S. since then,
I think he's allowed now, but I don't think he's going to.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
I might be wrong. You can fact check me on that.
Probably like, I don't trust
as soon as he comes back, the guy's dead.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that now.
I wouldn't come back if I was him. Just, I mean, that's crazy.
He was just recently on the podcast with Joe Rogan again, and he was on Zoom. Yeah, he was. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure he's not coming back.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't. He still doesn't even tell people where he's at, man. It's a high value target right there.
What he knows, I mean, I don't blame the guy, right?
Man's insane.
He knows
too much.
Yeah, he knows
way too much. He knows everything.
So he's like, of course I'm not going back.
The crazy thing is he probably didn't even release all the information that he knows, and that's why the individual is scary.
Exactly.
That's why the individual, like that man, is powerful because he still has probably all this information that he hasn't released.
That's wild. That's crazy.
People don't think about it like that though. But I was out there in Hawaii. From there, I was able to deploy to Korea. That was a great experience.
To Korea?
Yeah, I was able to see what do they call it? The border between North Korea and South Korea. Why am I forgetting it?
I know what you're talking about though. I can't think of it either.
I'm brain fart right now. Oh my God.
Let me see. I might be able to look it up.
The border of Korea. Oh my God. I don't remember, but what is it called?
I'm gonna look it up right now. But that's where you were stationed at?
No. So I deployed out there for 6 months. So I was able to go out there, and then where I was out there in Korea, and then I was out there when the whole nuke stuff was going on with Kim Jong-un.
Oh really?
Yeah. So that was a whole thing in itself. And that was when Trump just became the president.
The demilitarized zone.
Yeah, DMZ. There it
DMZ.
is. You got it. I appreciate you.
Yep, DMZ.
But yeah, the DMZ.
The DMZ region on the Korean Peninsula that demarcates North Korea from South Korea.
Right. Yeah, I was able to go there. There's like this little tunnel that you can go, and there's like a guard on the North Korean side. So if anyone tries to go through, it's like instant war at that point. So
what?
Yeah, it's crazy. You go down like this super steep tunnel. And the whole thing was North Korea was trying to come into South Korea to raid, and they made this tunnel, and now it's like a kind of like a museum almost, and you're able to go down far.
Really?
Yeah, you go down far. Your ears pop. Your ears pop. Going down, that's how far you go, and then you're able to see like through this tiny little window a North Korean army personnel, and he's standing there. Yeah, so we're able to see that, and then. A crazy thing about that, we were at those blue houses. I don't know if you know what those blue houses. There's like these small little blue houses in like the border between North Korea and South Korea.
No, what are those?
I forgot what they're called, but it's at the ZMZ. They're like these infamous little blue houses that are there. So we were able to go inside. While we're in there, for some reason, the North Korean had like a bunch of officers, and they came around the building and started guarding the building. They're like some high military officers, and the one dude that had a pistol, he's like this army guy. I'm in like my regular attire like right now, and this dude is scared, and he's the only one with the gun. So apparently if anything like that happens, you're supposed to evacuate everybody out, and they put like snipers up because most of the time stuff like that's happened, like they've gotten to like little knife fights and stuff like that.
Oh really?
Yeah, like shooting at each other and stuff. So in that situation we were there, it was like super like crazy, but we didn't think anything of it. They told us to exit, get out of there, and then we left, and then they obviously de-escalated the situation, whatever. But yeah, it was kind of
the only place where it is possible to make a couple of steps into an opposite side.
Yep.
Is T1 to T3 conference rooms, also known as blue houses.
Yep. So yeah,
Tent-like
so they're called the blue
buildings, sitting just at the DMZ line.
So yeah, we were there. Those dudes do like just stay in the same position. Like
what?
They don't move. Yeah, they're
real?
Yeah, they're insane. They stand there for hours. So yeah, out there in Korea, had a good time, visited that, and then once I was done with Hawaii, came back. Then I became a recruiter, and then that's when I was stationed in Wisconsin. Was there for a recruiter for 3 years, and then
became a Packers fan.
Throwing shade now. All right,
I'm just kidding, man. Man, but that's definitely an experience. And now you're in year 9.5, almost
9.5 years.
Back in Camp Pendleton.
Yeah, I'm here at Camp Pendleton, and then I'm stationed at Camp Pendleton, and now I'm here.
How long you been back now?
So I came here in October of last year. So
October
2020.
of last year. Okay.
Yep.
So you've been here for a minute. In Wisconsin, while you were living there, did you own a house up there or no?
Yeah, I did. I bought a house. I did buy a house out there. That was an experience in itself. Kind of hard and difficult. And then I ended up selling the house. Made a good profit on it, about I think 15 or 16,000 or something like that.
There you go.
And then sold a house, and then so. Got married out there in Wisconsin to my beautiful wife, Kristine.
Hey, there you go.
And then I had a baby, too.
Congratulations,
I appreciate it. Kali Rose Diaz, my little beautiful little sunshine right there. So.
And they're back in base right now or at home?
Yes, they're at Camp Pendleton right now. So they're chilling.
So you guys are on Camp Pendleton, right? Yes. That's where you're based?
Yeah, I'm stationed on there, and then I live there. Yep, live on military housing and stuff like that.
So I'm trying to think of the name of the place in San Diego. It's not Camp Pendleton, but it was a former base in San Diego, and it's now tons of restaurants and churches. I don't think there's a church
Old Town
there.
San Diego, like Old Town?
No, not Old Town. No, I know where Old Town is. It's not Old Town. I always go there for breakfast.
The Gaslamp District?
Nah. Man, I forget. It'll come up, but I'm trying to... But I know it looks clearly like an old school military base.
Well, there's a Navy base that's still over there.
Okay, so maybe it might be next to that because I do see some of that around there. But anyways, I'm just wondering kind of where you're at. But Camp Pendleton, I know where that's at.
For sure.
It's good to have you back though, bro. I know it's been a long time. Especially with the pandemic. I know that just flipped things for everybody. So,
dude, especially recruiting, man, that was difficult.
Man, what was that like anyways? I imagine there was not many recruiting going on during this time?
Yeah, so you would have to recruit kind of virtually kind of thing. It was still kind of like the world was still trying to figure it out. We were trying to figure it out as recruiters. So they were trying to be super cautious and don't allow people in, don't bring people in, kind of have conversations and stuff like that. But recruiting is already difficult in itself. Like my job consists of recruiting 18 to 28 years old. And if I don't recruit these individuals, I get kicked out of the military. So yeah, the concept is just crazy. So already, like I'm not selling a product. I'm selling a lifestyle. Is what I tell people, and to understand that is a totally different concept.
Exactly. Not everybody can understand that.
Yeah, you're completely changing this person's life or flipping it upside down in a sense. And you're telling them that what they're doing in life is dog shit, and what you're giving them now is the best opportunity that they have.
And is your approach to doing that similar to your recruiter who recruited you?
Like, no, I'm kind of be honest. Just being honest to the individuals and let them know, like, hey, your life sucks. I can make it better.
Hey, I'm just being honest. Your life sucks, bro.
And you have to do that sometimes, man, because if you're not doing that and you're telling them, then they're going to continue doing the same boring stuff. Like, there's a reason why that individual came to talk to you, or there's a reason why they're there.
Like, that's enough for you to
to kind of pick holes.
That's wild.
Exactly. So it's just crazy. And I know kind of my little retailers, Lewis and Vaughn, always trying to give me smack. But I promise, it's probably one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life.
Recruiting?
Yeah, recruiting for sure. And
I bet,
it's awesome. But it's made me a better speaker.
Right.
I've done a graduation with 1,500 people. Like, I was the guest speaker.
Oh, wow.
And, insane, man. And I was just... That's nerve-wracking.
Your heart was pounding.
Oh, man. But when I stood up on that table, I was the baddest man there. You know what
everybody
I mean?
was like, ooh.
As long as you get with confidence and stuff like that. And plus, the uniform kind of gives you like 1,000% boost.
Exactly.
Super Saiyan. So, but just one of those things. Just has built my confidence a lot more. Being able to present, being able to speak publicly. A lot of people don't realize how hard that is.
It actually is very hard. I think I can speak a little bit on that myself.
For sure, yeah, with your dream project, big dream project.
It's definitely something that requires work, awareness, right? Not only of around you, but yourself.
Exactly.
Just how, as far as preparation, presenting yourself and what you're going to say and the subject matter. So there's a lot that goes into it, but I think when it comes down to it, it's very doable for anyone who may have a fear of it. I think we can definitely work enough to get to a point where you're comfortable speaking, if not knowing how to work it. And what I mean by that is like setting yourself up to have a successful speaking engagement. Like, let's say, for example, you're someone who gets very anxious prior to speaking. Like, there's ways to work that out. And I think if people are aware of that, maybe they would, practice that or pursue more engagements or whatever it may be. But yeah, speaking in front of a large crowd is definitely a challenge. I know for sure in high school or in education or any speaking opportunities prior to Dream Big Project, dude, I was shit bricks. Like, I was
100%. I was the same way.
I was scared as hell.
And the hardest thing about it is that the only way to get better is to practice. And to practice is you have to do it in front of people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the most difficult part is just having to practice and get better. And the only way to do that, you're already nervous to do it.
Right.
And it just makes it even worse. So.
I think too, it's even more difficult than actually doing it is the conversation that you have with yourself about doing it.
And you're in your head too while you're doing it. You're like, do these people think I sound stupid?
Yeah.
Am I doing good at the mic? And you know what I mean? Like, am I too close to the mic? Am I too far away? How am I doing right now? How do I look? Am I standing straight?
Exactly.
So there's like all these things that are running through your mind while you're still trying to present and be presentable and get your word out there.
And then even like before that too, you're thinking like, okay, you still have to say, yes, you still have to decide whether you want to do it or not.
Exactly.
So then you have that conversation, like, damn.
Exactly.
And then you say yes. Okay, now you said yes.
It's a lot.
So now, there's another part of it.
And I can't tell this woman that, I want, hey, I want you to be our guest speaker. What am I going to say? No.
Right.
It's a great opportunity.
Right,
you know what I mean?
So, it is definitely a great opportunity to just impact lives, right?
For sure.
So that's awesome, though, that you did get to develop those skills and share your experience with the military. I think that's super awesome. And I appreciate you just bringing that value to the podcast. I know there's a lot of our listeners who are high school students who just graduated, and maybe individuals who still don't know what they want to do. And maybe the military is the perfect option. Maybe you got some recruiters listening right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. Just kind of keep your options available at all time. And like even now, like we were talking about it before. Like I'm even transitioning, trying to, everyone kind of makes fun of me in the little group chat, but cutting hair.
Right. That's one thing I wanted to talk about right now. Then I'm just going to bring that up. So talk about that. Did that, you were saying that you started doing that in the military.
Yep.
At that time, that was your first time cutting hair ever, right?
Yeah,
you
for sure.
practice on yourself. You practice on others in the military, and then when was that moment where you're like, oh shit, like I want to do this, or I want to continue, or when was that moment?
Yeah, for sure. So started, like you said, started in the military, kind of just picked it up, cutting hair, trying to get myself, trying to make it cheaper because, haircuts cost a lot sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
And obviously for military individuals, for myself, we got to get a haircut every week. So that adds up, $20 a week, $20 times a month, so on and so forth. So, I wanted to learn on myself and then also help out individuals at like a discounted price, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so I kind of progressed from there. They were like bob cuts, like legit, like they were bad at first. You know what I mean? The only way to get better is to practice. So,
those fresh military
yeah,
cuts.
for sure. At first they were free for like the longest. And then I kind of just like let it put off to the side and forgot about it. And then, recently the pandemic kind of brought it back in. And I used to just do like, before then, like onesies and twosies, like my brothers, my dad kind of thing. And, so, the pandemic happened and everything shut down. Barbershops, sanitation, stuff like that. They closed down completely. And now I'm over here thinking like, how am I gonna get a haircut?
Exactly.
So then I went to Amazon, started ordering some high priced clippers. Started cutting up my guys, my recruiters. There were other recruiters, other individuals in the area, my guys that I've been recruiting. I was cutting their hair. And then I just continued to progress and get better and better. And then I started investing myself. Vaughn was bringing that up. Investing in yourself is probably the biggest thing.
Exactly.
So I realized, hey, if I invest in myself and I put the money into it, then in the end, I'm going to eventually, make money off of it and get better, and create a better product. So yeah, I continued to progress and get better, and then now I'm here in Camp Pendleton. So I got a nice little barbershop in my garage.
That's dope. I've seen that picture.
And that's the goal. So right now, obviously small goals, trying to become a barber, be a better barber, and then going to school. I'm trying to start school, go to cosmetology school, go to barber school.
To get that license,
yeah,
right?
Get the license so I can do it legally,
right?
In a sense, you know what I mean? And then eventually opening my own barbershop and then being a barber in that barbershop. So
that's dope.
That's the end goal.
I really hope that you're able to work all that out and make it happen, because I think that's awesome. I used to want to be a barber. I still want to own a barbershop eventually, but I really align with kind of that vision and those goals that you have for yourself. So I'm wishing you the best on that for sure. It. So it's been, what, a year, 2 years now since you started those cuts and where you're at now?
Yeah, it's been exactly a year. Like when I got I fully invested myself into it. Yeah, exactly a year.
Did you find, you were talking about like reinvesting money into your business, your products, your equipment. Doing that, was that helpful for you? Did you notice any kind of benefit from it?
100%. Then you get more confidence in yourself because now you have no choice. You're investing into yourself.
I better use this.
Yeah, you're either going to put up or shut up, like I say all the time. You're either going to rise to the occasion or the money's going to go to waste at that point.
Right.
So yeah, and I always think, the more money you put into those products or, those things that are using like, these microphones or, your kind of, your setup, it makes you want to do it more and it keeps you more engaged with it and you want to be successful.
That's true. That's a great point.
Exactly.
It makes you want to continue to do it. It makes you want to do it more.
So you don't want it to go to waste.
Right.
So
exactly.
That's why. The setup that I have is disgusting.
It looked really good.
Disgusting, like in a good way.
Okay.
You know what I
mean? Okay. Yeah.
Like it's insane. Like
filthy.
Yeah, it's filthy. Like just it's nasty. So it's just I think even licensed barbers don't have as much as I do.
They don't. I don't think so either.
It's crazy. I think I have like an obsession almost. My wife thinks I do. I continue to say I don't.
You have an obsession with improvement.
Exactly. And I think, and I have a reason for every clipper. Every clipper does its own thing. Every trimmer does its own thing. Every shaver has its own, own function in my head. Right. But for some people are like, I could do one thing with, with that one clipper and I can do it all.
For everybody.
Exactly. But in my head, I think every clipper has its own,
whatever works for you.
Exactly. Whatever's clever, right?
Exactly. So. Whatever's gonna give me that freshest cut, that's what I need.
Exactly.
I don't care what clipper you use. If it's gonna give me my fresh cut,
exactly. And that's what I love about cutting hair. That's what I love about cutting hair because an individual comes into you and trusts you to cut their hair, and when they come out and how good they feel when you show them how their haircut looks, the confidence level is insane. Like,
it is.
When the individual gets like even for myself, when I get a haircut, I'm like, poof. let me go
I'm
out.
like,
Let me show this
I'm a
off.
brand new person.
What's up? What's up? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not getting married. I can't say things like that. But you know what I mean. But individuals like that, you know, they feel confident.
But you still
it makes
feel
me feel
good, right?
Yeah. And it makes me feel good when that individual's like, oh yeah, this is great, and then they pay for that product. That makes me feel better because now I know they enjoyed it. And then talking too, when you're in a barbershop, that's what I love. You're having those conversations. You're getting to know these individuals that you probably would have never met in your life, and those conversations, you know, kind of build it. And then that people forget it's not just cutting. You're not getting to know this individual. You're building a relationship, and then on top of it, you just continue to just grow with this person, and it's an awesome.
You build that bond.
Exactly, and it's just an awesome feeling.
Let me ask you a question regarding that exact thing within that profession, and I think it's similar in a lot of other service professions or groomers, not groomers, but cosmetologists and barbers and people who do nails and things like that. A lot of what's involved in the labor besides the product itself, like haircuts or nails or whatever, it's also like the labor of having a conversation. Interaction, right? So this is different for everyone, I'm assuming. Is that more work for you to have those conversations while you're cutting hair? Does it make it harder? Does it not even matter? Because some people, from articles I've read and kind of discovered, that's labor. And that's emotional labor.
Exactly.
That takes a toll on some people.
It does.
So some people would probably want to charge a little bit more because they're also going to be working not only on your hair, but some people want to have a conversation and you may not want to have that conversation.
Exactly. So yeah, it's difficult. But
is that something is that natural to you? Is that not even like matter to you?
Oh, it's easy because it's easy because obviously, like I said before, I was a recruiter before, so it kind of makes it easier now. But I just love talking anyways, kind of like we're doing now, you know, like we're kind of going off on tangents and you know going from one place to another. But you know, just talking to people, and I'm super into the study of the brain and stuff like that. You know, psychology, being a psychiatrist, something like that. Just getting involved in that, the study of the brain, that's the big thing why those conversations, you know, you get to know how this individual is, what he thinks about, how his day-to-day life is, he or she, and then you get to grow, you know, kind of grow with this person. So you really like enjoy that process. You're really okay with that. Yeah, it's my favorite part. And that gives the individual more of a reason to come back, because when they come back into your seat and you bring up, you know, you bring up a story that they told you before, like, hey, my son's birthday was like, hey man, how was your son's birthday last week? And he's like, oh crap, you remembered. So now they feel like you're now, you know, you're invested in them. You know, you're actually caring about the individual. And I don't know if you know this, but every person loves to talk about themselves, no matter what. Everybody does. You can say no, but no matter what, you learn that as, you know, when you talk to people or selling, everyone loves to talk about themselves. So when you start doing that, now, I'm not saying your haircut could be a little worse, but you know, it kind of goes away from it. You know what I mean? But you know, if it is bad, they still kind of will give you the benefit of the doubt. If you're still trying to learn, they're going to give you, they're going to let you, you know, continue to come to you and help you out in your craft, because you're giving them that mental, you're giving them stimulation. Yep, exactly. Right, so, you're hearing them out. Exactly, and it's kind of like a therapy session almost, in a sense. It's kind of like that, yeah. So it's pretty awesome. I had asked you, what do you think people underestimate about you the most? You said that I decided to go the easy route in life and go military right out of high school. Why that answer? Why did you respond with that? I don't know. I've always been told like that's the easy route. Everyone's like, oh, you chose, to get out and run away and kind of go into the military. But I feel like that's a big decision. You're changing your whole life completely. So that's why I answer the question. And it's not easy. No, not in a sense. But I feel like people downplay being in the military. Like, oh, you're just getting paid and you just show up at work and people tell you where to be, where to go, kind of thing. Right. So yeah, I feel like those. There's a little bit of hate in those people, right? Oh, for sure. Like haters. In some sense, like you said, everyone kind of thinks about it, and then that thought process goes away real quick for a lot of individuals. Someone stays in their head a little bit, but not everyone makes that decision in the end. So exactly. That's why I feel underestimated, because I did it right out of high school. I have my only resume is being in the Marine Corps. Mm-hmm. I have nothing else in my life. So people think what they've done is far better than what I did, but I've traveled the world. I've been to more places than your average individual. I've been to like I've been in so many countries. I'm only
Yeah,
27 years old. Yeah,
for
and that's
sure.
the thing. Like, people kind of downplay the military, but I've done more in life than a lot of individuals that are like 60, 70 years old.
Exactly.
So, and that's what I try to tell people.
And it's not like you regret going.
No, not at all.
Then
I
you're
love every
good.
bit of it. It's
Yeah.
hard. It is hard on your body and your mental state, being away. But I love that. I love being on my own. I love being by myself.
And that also strengthens you,
For sure.
right? It's not like you get weaker, because eventually it's like, okay, like you said, put up or shut up.
Exactly.
Like, you either better put up with this shit,
Yeah, exactly.
or you better take your ass back home.
Exactly. And it's not an easy route. So that's why I answered the question. That's why I answered that question saying like the military. That's the biggest
No, that
underestimated
makes sense,
thing.
man. That makes a lot of sense. I asked you something you do regularly. I always get mixed up with that word. A practice or a habit that is challenging but totally worth it. You said be as positive as possible with every situation, no matter how severe or crazy life is going. Why did that come to you right away?
Just having a positive mental attitude kind of makes every situation good. And that's why I answer the question like that, because if it could be the worst situation in the world, somebody in your family passing away, something in life that's not going well for you, the pandemic, all this stuff. So as long as you're keeping a positive attitude, no matter what, you're going to get by. It's just, you're going to live another, you get to live another day. You get to wake up the next day and you get to continue to do what you're doing.
Right. Exactly.
Even if you think you're not making a big impact in life, you really are. You're living. You know what I mean?
You're alive. You're breathing.
Exactly.
That's already enough right there.
And that's what I try to tell people. Just be positive. My wife told me that the other day. She's like, why? She's like, I love but can't stand how positive you are. And you know what I mean? Like, she loves it because I'm always so happy, and no matter what, I'll find the positive in any situation.
Right.
But she
just wants you to be mad.
Yeah, exactly.
So
she's like,
bad.
just be mad. But I'm like, I can't. I get mad for a little bit and then I get over it. I'm like, okay, hey, I'm sorry. How can I do it to help you? She's like, no, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to stay mad at me. And it's like, no, I'm done. Live, get through it.
Bright side
yeah,
of
exactly.
things.
Get through it, get past it, and that's it. It's over with. And I think a lot of people hold grudges. I don't. No matter the situation.
That's awesome.
Continue to just be positive.
In what situations do you get pissed off?
I don't really get mad. I'm really competitive.
There he goes right now. I don't get mad, guys. I never get pissed off.
Everyone, La Familia would be like, "Oh, he's always mad." But I'm super competitive, so I would say I get mad in that sense. Where I was playing Call of Duty.
There you go.
With that, I'm competitive in that. I do get upset, but I kind of just take a deep breath.
Yeah,
and then I'm just over it at that point.
There you go. That's key right there.
Exactly.
Taking that deep breath. That's awesome. No, I think I could really, it's why be upset? Why hold on to that? Why hold a grudge? Why hold on to that and carry it with you? Wherever it goes, and then you're like, oh, I'm only mad for a day or two, and then what? You continue to carry that with you, and how does that play a role in your day to day?
Exactly.
How is that affecting you now? Like, now you see it in your work or whatever. That could happen, right?
For sure.
You hold on to those things for so long, you're gonna start seeing it in other things that you're working on, and that's why it's like your approach as far as just seeing the bright side and really focusing on the positive is actually extremely beneficial in the long run.
For anybody.
For anybody
in life,
exactly.
whatever they're going through. So, yeah, be positive, all right?
Be positive. That's the quote of this episode. Be positive.
We got Patient Podcast.
Patient Podcast.
Is that what it was? Vaughn's? What's Vaughn's?
That was
Patience.
Patient Podcast.
Yeah. And then now we got Be Positive Podcast.
Be Positive Podcast. Yeah, there you go. So what are some things outside of the military, outside of cutting hair, that you're currently up to?
So right now, just being a father,
Nice.
being
There
a
you go,
dad, something I thought I would never do. So it's been pretty awesome.
You never thought you would do that because you didn't want kids?
No,
or?
I wanted a kid since I was in high school, man. I'm like one of those. Everyone looks at me like I'm a weirdo, but I wanted a kid since I was in high school. Kind of never voiced it, but I just always wanted a kid no matter what. That was like the one thing I've always wanted. Like I said, growing up with that, my biological father kind of going away, I wanted to prove a point, be like, hey, I don't want to be that kind of individual. And then seeing the way my stepdad kind of grew, raised me, seeing how he was, I was like, hell yeah, I want to be a dad.
You wanted to be that figure.
Yeah, crazy feeling, man, being a father. I know it's cliche what they always say, like in that moment, it's probably the best moment of your life. And
yeah,
it really is, man. You're like, you created this little monster. You know what I mean? Like you created this individual, and it's half me, half my wife. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's
a real blessing.
Love this little girl, man. She's a monster. She is only 5 months, but She's the funniest, gorgeous little thing that I've ever seen in my life. So
Did you guys have your baby out in Wisconsin or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, during the pandemic too.
Oh yeah,
and
what was that like?
we both had COVID.
What?
Yes, at the hospital we
Oh
both
my
had.
goodness.
Bro, tell me about it, man.
What happened? How do you even? I'm surprised they didn't just like station you outside in the parking lot,
dude. So we went in there. We were both feeling kind of sick and stuff like that. So we're like, my wife woke up at like 6 a.m. and she's like, babe, and I was like, I'm like half awake, you know what I mean? I'm like, what? Like, what do you want? And she's like, she's like, come here. She's like panicking, you know? And I was like, what? What happened? She's like, I just won't stop, kind of like peeing. She felt like she was peeing, it just won't stop. And realized right then, like her water broke.
Oh, her water
And
broke.
I was like, I'm looking like in panic, and I'm like, oh crap. I was like, all right, well, let's get ready, you know, kind of let's get up and go. So we got ready, got to the hospital, and as soon as you check in, hey, do you have any symptoms? Both of our temperatures were good. So we passed the first test, you know, as soon as you go in.
Okay, yeah.
And then once we go upstairs, they give you like the actual COVID, like the rapid test. And they gave her the test. So if they give her the test, if she has it, then they already assume that I have it.
Okay.
So as soon as that happens, it was just a crazy debacle too, because as soon as they test her, we're kind of going through the motions, and all of a sudden she's getting contractions and it's getting rough.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, it's getting rough. So she's getting beat up, and she's like asking for like the epidural and stuff like that. And
she wants it all.
Yeah. Then this nurse like just disappeared on us, and I'm like trying to call, and like an hour later she shows up.
What?
And my wife is like almost like hurting, you know?
Passed out like.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this hurts, you know?
God.
And she's like, you guys need to go. We need to quarantine you guys because you guys have COVID. We're like, what the heck, you know? So they
That's when
literally
you
take
found
us.
out?
Yeah,
Oh,
they take us
shit.
off to the side, all the way in the corner of the hospital, and we're like quarantined in this
Are you
area.
serious?
Yeah, by ourselves. And another hour later, they finally give my wife the epidural. She finally calms down, relaxes and stuff. I was yelling at doctors and nurses and stuff like that because they were trying to kick me out. They were like, you're going to have to leave. Your wife's going to have to deliver on her own. I'm like, you're tripping. I was like, I'm fighting every one of you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not leaving this hospital, you know, without my wife giving birth and without my baby and stuff. So I finally calmed down. That's when I got, that's a good one. That's when I got mad, legitimately.
Oh,
you know? I wasn't being positive in that moment.
But no way you be
Oh,
positive.
yeah,
through
not
that.
at all. So then, yeah, they found out that situation, and then they finally let me stay. They all come down. They said, hey, you should go get tested. But if you go get tested, you're probably not going to be able to come back. And I'm like, well, you're tripping. I got COVID. I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
So we stayed there, and she was in active labor for 6 hours. We were at the hospital for 24 hours. Baby finally came out. And yeah, it was a crazy experience, man.
Dude,
just going
that
through
is
that.
wild.
And luckily the nurse that we had at the end was just a sweetheart. And
Really?
yeah, she took care of us, made sure my wife was good, came in constantly.
Were you able to stay in the same room during
The entire time? Yeah, we stayed there for actual 4 days. And once they actually my wife gave birth and stuff like that, they wanted to do like all these crazy tests on her.
Really?
Yeah, so they wanted to like take like bone marrow out of her and stuff like that. It was all this crazy stuff. Then we're like, no, we're good. Or they were gonna give her like this like kind of like shot to like see like how she reacts to it. There was all this crazy stuff.
because she had COVID
Yeah,
and
because she had COVID, and they wanted to
and
test and see what was going
get
on
all
with
these
it.
results
Yeah,
from
so
her.
thank
That's
God my
wild.
baby came out normal. She
Yeah,
was
thank
fine,
God.
healthy baby. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't. I don't know why they wanted to do it. They just said they wanted to do further testing to see, you know, how individuals react.
Did she have to wear a mask and everything while?
Yeah, she wore a
giving
mask
birth?
even 10 days after we had our baby, bro.
Oh,
so my
man.
baby, all she sees is my wife with the mask on the entire time. My wife even slept with it, bro. My wife slept with the power to her. What strongest woman I ever met in my
shout out
life,
to
man.
your
Besides
wife.
my mom, but yeah, this woman is a warrior. Yeah, she's a champ. Power to her.
Yeah.
So yeah, just insane.
That's
but,
incredible.
I'm over here just loving life without a mask, and my wife has to wear it the
I
entire
know.
time. You know what I mean? It's just
and give birth. And
yeah, exactly, man.
you're over here like
Insane, man, insane. I'm just like, oh,
you're over here being positive. Yeah.
being
How's
positive.
everybody
It's a
going?
great day. She's like, just dying.
She's like, shut the fuck up.
So yeah, just it's one of those things
That's
that it was just
incredible,
crazy.
man.
Yeah, so
God bless you
but
guys
yeah, that's
for
what
that.
I got going on right now. So
That's cool. So cutting hair, you're recruiting people now. Got the family growing.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, man. Living the dream.
yeah, kind of, I guess. Yeah,
Right.
No, just kidding. Yeah, I'm living life.
Once the barbershop comes into play, your own barbershop,
Yep.
right? What you want to do. How you have a timeline for that? Any kind of time when you want to
Yeah,
get
so
that
I'm still
going?
trying to decide if I want to retire in the Marine Corps. So I'm at the halfway mark.
okay.
So kind of
You're
like the
thinking
hump.
about that too.
Yeah, so 10 more years and I'll retire. I'll be 38 years old.
Dang.
Tell me about it, man. So it's a tough
might as
decision.
well.
Yeah, it's a tough decision, man.
Right.
10 more years ago, So either that or just kind of do like a double kind of thing. So try to see if I can invest in an individual that wants to open a barbershop, kind of hold it down the fort while I provide the financial part of it.
Right.
If they can do that for me until, I decide to get out, or just wait until everything kind of goes away, I retire, then I could just put all my focus onto it myself. So
that's not a bad idea either.
That's the decision right now that I'm going through with my wife, kind of deciding whether I stay in or get out, or stay in, do barbershop, stay in, wait to the barbershop kind of thing. So it's still kind of we're in the beginning stages of that right now.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, we're
still
still
some time to think about it.
Exactly.
So would you have to re-enlist and sign for another 3 years, or how does that work? Like if you plan on retiring, can you sign up for the 10 years within one contract, or how does that work?
Great question.
Yeah.
So every 4 years, you do a contract. So when you're coming up on that third year, so I'm gonna go all the way out to 2023 right now. So I'll be 12 years when I finish this contract. In my 11th year, what I'll do is I'll submit a package, and it's kind of like a love me package, saying all the things that I've done in the Marine Corps, and all my it's called fitness reports. So it's an individual that grades me on my performance. I'm going to send this up to headquarters Marine Corps, and these individuals are going to decide whether I should stay in or get out. And it's kind of in their hands.
Oh, really?
Every time I re-enlist, it's in these individuals' hands, whether I am the top tier of the Marine Corps, the middle tier, or the bottom tier.
So it's not like you can automatically re-enlist.
Oh, no. You got to prove. Yeah, you got to prove yourself. So and that's the scary thing about the military. It's just, it can end in a matter of moments.
Right.
So you're always constantly thinking, like, is this beneficial for me to stay in, or is it more beneficial to get out? And then if it's good for me to stay in, what ifs? You got to always ask the what ifs, and that's what I'm doing right now. What if the Marine Corps isn't for me? What can I do after? And that's why I love the Marine Corps, because it's always been that stepping stone for me. It's not always been everything for me. It's been the stepping stone. Like the Marine Corps has gotten me to where I want to be now.
They've been extremely helpful in getting you to where you want to go.
And that's what I try to tell people when I did used to recruit individuals. Like the Marine Corps is a stepping stone. It's not you are going to make you. It's going to help you become who you truly should be.
That's a great point.
So yeah, and that's what I always try to kind of reiterate to individuals. But yeah, and that's why I always think like Marine Corps is kind of not the back burner, but it's like my secondary option. And then I want to always do something else.
What are some of the responses like you get from people you're trying to recruit when you have these conversations with them?
So a lot of them are always like kind of skeptical. They don't really think what I'm telling them is the truth. But I always tell them like, why would I lie to you, man? Like I'm going to give you the dirty, like the nitty gritty kind of things. I'm going to tell you. I usually tell them like, hey, Marine Corps sucks. Like it's not fun. You're being told what to do, where to be, where to go. Everything is told for what you should do and how you should do it.
People probably are attracted to that.
Some people are, yeah, for sure. There's some people that come in and automatically like, I want to join. Where do I sign? And how fast can I get out of here? You have those onesies and twosies, and then you have those ones that you gotta kind of convince a little bit. They're kind of on the fence, and then you convince them. There's ones that have never even thought about it, and you convince, or there's ones that are completely not for it, and then you change their mind completely, and then now you got to change their family's mind.
Damn, so, yeah, just like they had to do with yours.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So mine was, mom, right? I didn't know anything, and then now I got to convince my mom, hey, mom, I need you to sign these papers right now.
That's a trip, man, how that happened.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Those are my favorite. We call them tear-stained PCs.
Tear-stained
Yeah,
PCs.
So parental consent, those are my favorite. So as long as you get a tear,
those are your favorite.
Yeah, you get a tear stain on them, you make mom and dad cry, that means you did your job. That means you gave a dynamic performance, and now you know you got them. If I made a mom or dad cry, I know 100% that kid's joining the Marine Corps and he's going to be a Marine. No doubt about it. 100% never fails, because now I have mom and dad on my side.
Right.
And those are the biggest advocates. You know what I mean? Those are the individuals that are going to continue to drive them and be that driving force for them to join the Marine Corps and be a Marine.
Are the mom and dads who are on your side, are these usually military background families?
No. Some of them
really?
Oh, man, I couldn't tell you how many times. I would say about 80% of the parents that I've met are hostile. They'll cuss me out. They'll come in with a bad attitude. They'll yell at me. They'll call the cops on me. Like,
what?
Yeah, don't talk to my son.
Like, shit.
Yeah, man, even on the phone, man. Like,
that's wild.
Yeah, like I tell people, man, it's a hostile environment when you're a recruiter. Like, so it's not.
Really want nothing to do with it.
Oh, no. Yeah, there's like racial remarks. Like,
damn.
Yeah, man, it's rough, man. And being in Wisconsin too, being a Hispanic in Wisconsin was even harder as well too.
Dang,
because
really?
Yeah, for sure, man.
You experienced a lot of those
remarks.
remarks?
Oh yeah, that stuff is out there, man. It's everywhere. It doesn't go away from you. So yeah, you're experiencing all these battles We kind of touched the base.
I bet too, like with you just traveling throughout the country and other countries, you've definitely got some experience with remarks and people talking back and all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. Anything that stands out to you the most right away, like outside of the U.S., you being associated with the military, what do people tell you? Anything in particular? As far as like comments about you and you in the military in a different country. Like, is it positive?
Yeah, no. So most of the time it's negative.
Oh, really?
They don't really want you there. Actually, no. I'll change that. It's most of the time it's positive. Sometimes it's negative. So like when I was in Korea, like you were like a god. You know what I mean? Like you look different. You don't look Korean whatsoever. So they already know you're in the military. So all these people are like taking pictures of you. All this stuff. It's crazy. I remember a crazy experience when I was in Bahrain. It's a small little island off of Hawaii or off of Saudi Arabia. So if you look at Saudi Arabia, there's a small little island, I think on the Persian Gulf, if I'm not mistaken.
What's the name of the island?
Bahrain.
Bahrain.
Bahrain. And I went there, and so men show affection towards other men. They don't show any affection towards women. And I was walking down the street in my regular clothes and stuff like that, and another individual comes up to me and grabs my hand and holds my hand, this man. What? And as soon as he grabbed my hands, I was about to turn and start hitting this dude. You know what I mean? I was like, what is going on? But he like looked at me and was like, no, friend. I was like, no, we're not homies, bro. Like, we're about to fight right now. Like, what are you talking about?
And you're wearing civilian clothes?
Yeah, just regular civilian attire. And just wearing like a regular t-shirt, pants, and shoes, just kind of just roaming the area. And this guy just walked up to me and says, you wanted to be my friend by holding my hand. But out there in those countries, that's the way they show, friendship. That's the way they are. They show affection towards other males. Wow. They don't show affection towards women. And that was a crazy experience for myself because I didn't understand that culture. I'm over here about to fight this guy.
Yeah, were you close to fighting him right?
Oh yeah, I was gonna swing at him, and then one of my boys like, "Hey, wait up, what's going on?" But we're still friends till this day.
Oh really?
Yeah, we're Instagram friends.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he's awesome, great individual, and yeah, it was crazy.
That's a great example. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. That's why I love the military so much, because if I would have never joined the military, deployed to that country, and experienced that, I would have never met this person who's awesome. I kind of teach him English every once in a while, stuff like that. We kind of practice, and but yeah, it's been that was kind of one of those experiences where it's in a positive nature, as well as negative in a sense.
Yeah, right.
So it's pretty cool.
You were confused as fuck.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on right now?
Like, fuck, I'm positive.
You're trying to catch these
hands. I feel
hands.
negative right now. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. So it's cool. And stuff like that has been awesome. That is
cool, man.
It's been awesome.
I feel like, too, you've been exposed to a lot of different cultures.
Oh, for sure.
So, which is a great thing, because then you have a better understanding of people, and then you are more patient, you're more understanding, more positive.
Yes. You said different walks
because you have
of life.
a better understanding,
exactly.
Right? So you see a little bit of everything, so therefore you appreciate,
you appreciate life as a whole.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's insane. It's crazy.
That makes sense.
It's crazy how I try to tell people like how big the world really is. Everyone thinks it's small, but the world is huge
and flat, right?
Oh yeah, and flat Earth, right? And little flat earthers. But yeah, it's crazy how big the world really is, and like how many amazing people there are out there in the world.
That's true, man.
So it's awesome.
So, okay, man, I think we really touched up on a lot of really, I think, big topics that
we did
would really bring some value to people. The military, just looking back now as the military, not the military, but the Marine Corps. Would you stick to going to the Marine Corps? Would you pursue Air Force? I
would stay with the same. I would stay with the same route. I wouldn't change. Okay. I always tell people.
Yeah,
I would stay with the same route, and I wouldn't change my life.
How would you, maybe right now in this very moment, there's a young person or an adult, anyone who really is debating whether or not to pursue the Marines or the military in general, one statement that you can convince them on why they should join the military?
So I'll kind of answer it with two responses. So the first one is I always tell people, if you're like in high school or you just don't know what you're doing in life, just talk to a recruiter. whether that be the Marine Corps, the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, or whatever branch you're thinking of. Just talk to a recruiter because you don't, like yourself, you don't understand how the military operates or how it actually works. So that's where that advocate, that Marine or that recruiter is going to help you. Obviously, they're a little biased. They're going to kind of lean you towards one way, but they should be able to give you the information to say what you're doing in your life right now, is it better than what I'm going to offer you? So yeah, if you're always stuck in a pickle or anything like that, you just don't know what you're doing with your life, just talk to a recruiter, get the information. You don't have to sign right then and there.
You don't have to sign right there like he did.
You can get out of there.
You don't got to bring moms in
you don't have to bring moms in, sign paperwork, go enlist the next day. You can get out of there, kind of think it over, and then make the decision then, but for sure do that. And then the next thing is, the beneficial things about the military in general. I can only speak on the Marine Corps. But with it, it's kind of been a huge stepping stone in my life to be a better individual, a better person, and to develop discipline in life because, I see what I call civilians. I see civilians in the way they take, work for granted, or they're lazy, or they just, just don't want to do their job, or they're not happy with their job. Like, if you're not happy with your job, then just leave it. Go do something else.
Do something
don't torture yourself. Yeah, don't torture yourself to do something forever. So that's why.
That's a great point too, though, right? Like, pursue things that make you happy.
Exactly.
Why are you gonna go after something that makes you miserable?
For sure.
And I think obviously we can go deeper into that and talk about like, well, I don't have other options, but I think you can create options.
For sure.
Right? Especially right now and just with technology and just the access that we have to the internet, right? There's a lot of opportunities that we can literally create. If we really
you were talking about that with Jennifer.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
Hearing that. You were talking about what they're.
She started her own little small business and everything that she's involved in. It's incredible. So that's one thing I like to encourage students that I work with. Like, what makes you happy? What are you into?
But that's the thing. Nobody ever asks high school students those questions.
That's why I ask all my students. And
that's what makes me so upset. And that's why I thought that's what made me such a good recruiter, is because I was asking those questions and they felt like I cared about them. And in a sense, I kind of skewed their decision in, saying that the Marine Corps is the best route. But I genuinely cared about those individuals, and I wanted the best for every person that I talked to, every person that I sat in front of. I genuinely wanted them to have the best opportunity, and I legitimately thought the Marine Corps was the best option for every person. And I feel like I could sell anybody on the Marine Corps.
You need to go work at Verizon.
Yeah, I know I do, huh? Vaughn's going to be like, hey, come over here. But I genuinely feel like no matter what situation you're in, I can convince you to join the Marines.
Nice.
And that's how good I feel about that. Because if you go in with that mindset and it doesn't turn out that way, hey, now I need to fix that. Now I need to add that into my next interview and then continue to progress from there. So like I said, always be positive in every situation.
Always be positive.
If you're always doing that and you're always progressing, you're always bettering yourself, you're always going to have a positive outcome no matter what.
Be Positive podcast.
Hey, there it is.
Rapid fire questions. You ready?
Here we go.
Before we dive into rapid fire questions, where can people find you? Are you on social media? Where can people hit you up for a haircut, perhaps?
Yep. So I don't have I have a YouTube, but I don't have it set up yet, so I won't give that out to y'all yet.
Okay.
But I'm gonna start, obviously implementing that in my day-to-day life. It's just hard with the child and stuff like that.
No, totally.
But yeah, we'll have that, and then my Instagram is A Diaz Diaz and then 5293. So if you look me on there, you'll just see my baby.
I'll tag it on the podcast.
Okay.
So
yeah, for sure. So if you guys want to look me on there, and then obviously everyone's got Facebook in this world. Adrian Diaz, simple. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll get my YouTube up there. Hopefully, start making it better and stuff like that. So.
It will, right? It's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, be positive.
Be positive. Be positive. All right, here we go. When you think of the word successful, who is the first person that comes to mind and why?
Oh, that's a good one.
And the first person.
I know, exactly. I was thinking myself being successful.
Okay, I like that. I like that response.
So yeah, myself.
And why?
I just feel like from where I came from to where I'm at now, I think I made a positive impact on life and just my overall health, mentally and physically, and just I don't know. I feel like where I am right now in life, I think I'm doing pretty well for myself. I always want to get better no matter what, but I feel like I'm successful in what I do and what I've done so far. So
nice. I like that response.
I know it's kind of cocky in a sense, but
no, that's you got to be confident.
Like I've been pretty successful in life.
I would agree.
Thank you.
What is your favorite documentary?
Oh, that's a Oh, there's a lot. Documentary.
Any recent ones you've seen?
I used to watch. What's that documentary I just watched?
Lifeline.
I know. I'm reaching out for one right now. Oh, next question. Pass. I'll come back to it.
The most useful product or service you've bought under $100.
Most useful
product or service.
Under
$100.
Oof.
I mean, it doesn't have to be. It could be anything that you think of.
Hey, I would say my clippers.
Hey, there you go.
My barber clippers.
That's true.
So, most useful product. Invest in yourself.
Exactly.
Less than $100.
I feel like that's another quote you've been saying. Invest in yourself.
For sure. But I would say
your barber
my
clippers.
Yeah, invest in one of those.
Wireless ones too, right?
Are they
all wireless?
Cordless. They're all cordless and stuff
yeah.
like that. So doing that and just obviously it became a habit now. But when I started that, now I knew like, hey, I put some good money into it. Might as well start getting
exactly.
Better at that, so.
What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, in general. Ooh.
Unless you want to break it down.
My favorite movie
for the people.
Time. I would say Friday Night Lights. I was just talking about this the other day.
We're just talking about that in the chat.
I know it's my favorite sport movie, but I think it's my favorite movie.
Remember the Titans or Friday Night Lights?
I know. Trash. Remember the Titans. Come
what?
on. How is that better than Friday Night Lights? No, I was kidding. I can't disrespect Denzel like that. But no, Friday Night Lights. It reminds me of when I was in high school. I think that's why it's so close to home.
I like Friday Night Lights a lot too.
We were so close to winning.
Man.
We got kind of scammed out my junior year. You remember that?
Yep.
Kind of got taken away from that, and against Garden Grove.
That was wild.
It kind of still gives me chills, and it still gets me upset to this day. I will never let it go. But it's one of those things that you put so much effort into one thing, you put your whole, you invest yourself in that moment, and for it to get pulled away like that was just rough. So
I feel like within within that period of time, like 3 years, we kind of got
shafted. Yeah, for sure. We just felt like everyone is out to get us. Like they didn't want us to succeed. I feel like we could have beat anybody, and we could have went up against anybody except for Laguna Hills, but we won't talk about that one.
I know. Too soon. Hey, it's too soon.
But
it's been 10 years.
Everyone else, we were dominant, man. We were dominant. And towards my year, we started playing against Division I schools, like the big boys. Everyone wanted to play us.
Bosco on the schedule, like the year
everyone wanted to play
and
us, and that's where you made it. I mean, shout out to Coach C.
Hey, shout out to Coach
Nickname.
C. He did. He did win state championship.
He did. Yeah, he left. He went to El Rancho, right?
No. El Monte.
Yeah. Okay. So he won it.
Yeah, he won state and league. He pretty much won. He had a perfect season.
Power to him.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's a great coach, obviously. But, just not my cup of tea.
Tell me one thing you are grateful for.
Two things, I guess. Well, kind of three. My wife and my kid. Super grateful with them. They're amazing. I get to see them every day. I'm kind of missing them now. But and then life in general.
Life in general, nice.
Yeah, life in general. Just being able to be here with you. I appreciate you inviting me to this, as well as just being alive. Just taking advantage of what we do every day. People take it for granted. So.
Hey man, I agree. I think that's something that we definitely need to reflect on more often.
For sure.
Just being alive, breathing,
be happy, man.
Being happy, positive. Like just exactly.
It's crazy
be
how you can just be sad. I don't understand it. Like
I think it's pretty deep on why people are in that state.
I get it. Like we talked, Jennifer talked about mental health. I understand that it's huge, but and I know I don't understand how an individual. I personally don't understand how an individual goes through something like that. And,
right.
Obviously, that's a whole different beast. I'm not downplaying it in any way whatsoever.
No, definitely.
I'm just saying, in my sense, like as long as you stay positive, like you're always gonna, be able to look for the best possible option.
Exactly, I agree. Lastly, going back, what is your favorite documentary?
Favorite documentary. That's why the rapid questions, because they kind of stump you. What's your favorite documentary? Let's do that, and then you kind of get me tuned in.
Documentary. I love Animal Planet type documentaries.
Okay, yeah.
On Netflix, they have those. I forget what they're called. One Night. I don't know what it's called right now, but I think documentaries aligned with Animal Planet, or not necessarily Animal Planet, but animals in it type documentaries, like in the jungle. I know Netflix released a few that have been.
Oh yeah, they've been pretty big right now.
Yeah,
they've been pretty big.
So yeah, I would say either that or like serial killer type documentaries.
Okay, yeah, those are good. So I got it. 30 for 30. Those are my favorites, man. I just realized it. I've watched, I think, almost every single one of them.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's my like go-to.
30 for 30.
30 for 30.
The best one has to be The Last Dance, right?
Yes.
I mean, I haven't seen all of them.
Yeah, I could throw
Did you see the
actually,
Bruce Lee one?
What was that?
The Bruce Lee.
Yo, I've seen them all.
I haven't seen that one.
I've seen almost every single one of them. Yes, it's amazing. Like my dad, shout out to my dad, Bruce Lee. He knows everything about Bruce Lee.
Oh, really?
Oh,
That's
loves
dope.
him. Yeah, loves him to death. If he can, that's one thing I would probably want to do if I could. Go back in time and allow him to meet him. Oh
And
my
he
God,
died-
he'd probably break down and cry. He died
died-
from an aneurysm in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, while he was shooting, I think, Enter the Dragon.
Yup, I heard about that too. And he
Yeah.
was, what, in his 30s?
He's only 36, I think.
Yeah.
36. My dad knows everything, so he taught me all this stuff. So that's why I know it pretty well. But yeah, he's.
I need to go back and catch that
Yeah,
documentary.
30 for 30. But yeah, Last Dance was probably one of the best ones.
30 for 30. I like that. That's a great series of
It is.
documentaries.
Yeah, if y'all get on it, please do. Fast Five is a great one. You kind of see the background of like a lot of like sports events and things that people don't really look into or seeing it from that perspective. Like you get the inside look of all that stuff. And
especially
what
The
they've
Last Dance, when you see, you hear
Crazy.
Jordan's.
Tell me that wasn't the most
breakdown.
watched documentary during the
my
pandemic. I'm
goodness.
telling you, everyone was waiting for that
That was
weekly.
the greatest.
It was insane to see how his mindset works, man. Like how
Right.
he thinks as an individual, and how no matter what, he does not accept
How
failure.
focused he was.
He doesn't
and
accept
locked
failure,
in.
and how competitive he was.
How competitive.
In anything, literally playing
his
poker.
discipline.
Yeah, playing poker.
What about when
golf.
when he got drafted by the Bulls as a rookie, and then that scene in the documentary where he was in the hotel, and then he would go into the hotel room and see everyone just partying.
Yeah,
and
getting fun. He was like, "Nope, not for me.
"Yup,"
Get me out of
and
here."
literally just left.
Crazy. As a young man,
And that
at
was
his age,
He said he had to. It was like that throughout the season. Him having to
constantly.
remove himself.
And that's the thing that's crazy to me. I think it was right out of college, so 22, 23 years old. That young, that's party time. You know what I mean? Like having a
Exactly.
good time, getting out, having fun with friends. You're now aged to drink and stuff like
Yep.
that. And for him to separate himself from that situation and focus the task at hand, which is basketball and winning the championship.
Oh my
You got to have a
goodness.
different kind of mindset.
I thought it was really interesting too when they were talking about in the documentary how once Jordan, made it to the NBA, he put the NBA on the global map, right? With his
Everywhere,
shoes,
man. Everywhere. He took
his
over.
skills, his
He
championships,
took over. I don't think there'll ever be an individual.
the dream team.
Yeah, I don't think there'll ever be an individual that. I mean, I guess you could say LeBron in a sense, but Michael like literally started that, and that was before this dude started that before like social media was a thing.
Right.
Like that's how people don't realize that. Like
And
that's how
also-
big this individual was. Like everyone
Yeah,
knew where
that's
he was
true.
gonna be, where he was gonna go,
That's
when his
true.
shoes were gonna release. Like
Shoes, you're
without
right.
social media.
Great point.
How?
And to add to that, just all of like his training and his ability, his
Yeah, his
performance,
regime
like,
was insane.
all of that, right? Now you have all of these
Or his regimen,
supplements,
not regime,
training,
regime.
food, right? And so going back to his time, man,
Just
shout out to
another
shout
level.
out to
Yeah.
MJ.
Shout out
We need to
Michael
get
Jordan
MJ on the
himself.
podcast.
I know. Hey, if you're listening to this, come on, man.
Hey, MJ.
You gotta join in the festivities.
I'm about to slide in those DMs. Adrian, man, appreciate you being on the podcast,
thanks,
bro.
man.
I think a ton of people are gonna find value in this episode. So thank you again. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We appreciate you. Please do subscribe, rate, and review. And thank you again for tuning in. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.
Appreciate it.